What does it mean to be addicted? Is it simply the result of poor and impulsive decision making by someone looking to have a good time? Or could it be a side effect of a much larger issue, a way of coping with the circumstances you find yourself in, escaping the trauma and pain that can come with everyday life? These are the questions asked by 1996's Trainspotting, directed by Danny Boyle and starring Ewan McGregor, Robert Carl, Johnny Lee Miller, and Ewan Bremner. Trainspotting follows a group of friends living in Edinburgh, Scotland through their everyday life as they struggle with their addiction to heroin and finding their place within the society they live. Trainspotting is faced with the difficult task of making you care for characters that take part in acts that are heavily stigmatized in society and who are also all around bad people. Whether it be Ewan McGregor's character Renton, who is addicted to heroin and will go to any lengths, including theft, to get his next fix, or Robert Carl's character Bigby, who, throughout the course of the movie, starts bar fights, assaults people, and robs a bank. These are despicable people who many would see as irredeemable. Yet the filmmakers take these terrible people and manage to make you feel sympathetic towards their situation and go even further to show that they might not be that different from the audience. I think one of the most successful aspects of the movie is the filmmaker's decision to present it from almost a first-person perspective through the eyes of Renton, featuring frequent narration from him as he explains what is going on in his head throughout. Such things as what his heroin addiction does to his body, how it feels for him to try to get off heroin, and how he feels about his friends. By allowing the audience to get inside Renton's head like that, the filmmakers can easily display his rationalization for his actions and how many of his actions are a result of the addiction he must feel in the environment that surrounds him, rather than some innate desire to do evil or make bad decisions. Another challenge the film faces is the fact that many of the people watching the movie have never been addicted to something like heroin before, and in turn would not understand the obstacles many of the characters face. In the movie, it addresses this in an extremely effective manner by utilizing many surreal elements within the shots to convey the feeling of addiction in a visual sense. A great example of this can be seen in the worst toilet in Scotland scene. In this scene, Renton accidentally misplaces some drugs inside this horrendously disgusting toilet. Instead of just showing him fishing through the toilet to find the drugs, the movie has him dive headfirst into the toilet, in which he is seen appearing in a vast blue ocean. As he swims to collect the drugs, a very serene musical track is playing in the scene itself, and it has an overall beautiful, peaceful feel to it. A major contrast to the nastiness that can be seen on the exterior of the toilet. This scene's purpose is to convey to the audience what being on drugs is like. On the outside, much like the toilet, it is vomit-inducing, but the feeling of doing it is much more akin to the serenity seen in the ocean once he is inside the toilet. One of the things that could be handled better in the film was the story arc for the character Tommy. In the film, Tommy is one of the few main characters that abstains from doing heroin. This changes, however, after he has a rough breakup with his girlfriend and is looking for an escape. What is effective about this story arc is that it displays just how quickly addiction can take over your life and how it can destroy everything you've worked hard to build. However, after Tommy starts heroin, we don't get to see a lot of him before he dies, from AIDS, which he contracts through the heroin addiction. I think more time should have been spent on his character so that he could be better fleshed out and the audience could see his struggle firsthand rather than hearing it through other characters' references, as I genuinely think his story is more tragic than Renton's and does a much better job at conveying the negative aspects to drug addiction. In the end, Trainspotting aims to explore what it means to be addicted by suggesting that in a way it serves as a prison to those affected, a means of escape that ends up trapping them in a never-ending cycle of searching for that next hit. This is depicted well in the scene where Renton overdoses, as the filmmakers once again utilize surreal elements to convey these ideas. Once Renton takes the hit that sends him into an overdose, he can be seen sinking into a carpet, and we get a point of view shot from Renton's eyes showing that the borders of the carpet are in his peripherals. We follow Renton as he is escorted to the hospital, and although he has left the carpet that he originally sank into, he still sees the carpet in the borders of his vision. In a way, him sinking into the carpet could signify his relationship with drugs, as it is a visual representation of his sink into addiction, and the carpet he sees in his vision is the constant urge for him to find another hit, something that never leaves him. Much like how his overdose traps him physically by immobilizing him, his addiction traps him in society, preventing him from living a normal life and moving forward with his life. Trainspotting does not glorify drug use, and it does not try to promote it. The movie goes to great lengths to show just how disgusting and terrible it can be. However, it does try to make its audience understand drug use, why someone would start, the allure of it, things that drug users see as positives about drugs, and why it can be so difficult to get clean. It humanizes addicts in a way news reports often fail to do. The one area where the movie falls short of this, and why many feel that it glorifies drug use, is in its tone. Trainspotting maintains a more lighthearted tone throughout, which can be attributed to mainly because of its dark humor. This, however, can take away from certain scenes that really should carry more weight and impact the audience more than they do. I understand why the decision was made, as I do think it helps to humanize the characters. However, this is one area where I feel the movie is lacking. Other than that, Trainspotting is an amazing movie that manages to make something as terrible as addiction entertaining without taking away from the weight of the subject material too much.